All right, fresh off the presses, as it were, by Michael Baxter over at realrawnews.com. Military convicts Chelsea Clinton. I'll hop right into this. This is without the general's voice. If you want the general's voice, as you probably already know, you need to go over to Tom Youngjohn 3. That's Tom space Youngjohn space 3, the number 3. All right. And that's going to have in the future, well, in a little bit, that's going to have this article, except with the admiral's voice, the general's voice, the drill sergeant voice, the angry man voice. Mark Mezvinsky's testimony resumed Thursday morning, and his remarks helped slam shut Chelsea Clinton's proverbial coffin. Rear Admiral Crandall opened the day by asking Mezvinsky about the 3 Haitian children who were passengers on Chelsea's rented Mercedes at the time of her arrest. They were imported into the country some time ago. I don't remember exactly when. They were meant to be gifts to a friend of the Clinton Foundation, Mezvinsky said. Interesting vernacular you have there. You use the word imported as if they were a crate of microchips or lettuce. I think the words abducted and smuggled are more appropriate, don't you? Who was this friend? Rear Admiral Crandall asked. Mezvinsky said he didn't know. He claimed that he was to wait in the vehicle while Chelsea escorted the children to a hotel room in Rockport, Massachusetts. He also denied knowledge of the youngsters' names. For Chelsea, like her mother, indecipherably scrambled proper names into anagrams to thwart attempts to track down smuggled children. Was it common for you and the defendant to personally deliver smuggled kids into the hands of pedophiles? You're both high profile people. Isn't that a bit risky and stupid? It was rare, and she told me it was a special delivery. Besides, we had to get out. We had a get out of jail free card, like in the Monopoly game, Bezvinsky said. Get out of jail free card? Could you expand upon that? Rear Admiral Crandall said, say, for example, we got pulled over by a state trooper or even the feds for whatever reason. They'd make one phone call and be told they'd have to release us, no questions asked. Mezvinsky said, are you suggesting, Mr. Mezvinsky, that local law enforcement and the intelligence agencies are subservient to the Clintons? Rear Admiral Crandall asked. Absolutely, Mezvinsky replied. It seems the Delta Force operators who arrested you didn't honor that get out of jail free card you had. Rear Admiral Crandall said, that was unexpected, Mezvinsky admitted. Rear Admiral Crandall wanted to know if Chelsea Clinton knew the names of the thousands of children she and her family had sold to pedophiles and the identities of the recipients. She does, Mezvinsky said. His admission caused Chelsea to launch into an inexorable rant against Mezvinsky, calling him a spineless, sorry excuse of a man, no backbone, no balls, piss poor excuse of a husband. You keep your fucking mouth shut. That's what you do, Mark. Her outburst, Rear Admiral Crandall said, denoted a blatant contempt of courtroom civility, and he cautioned her to respect the court under threat of being gagged for the rest of the trial. During your testimony on Tuesday, Mr. Mezvinsky, you stated you're responsible for destroying evidence of Clinton crimes, but that's not entirely true, is it? In your deposition, you told JAG you had screenshotted spreadsheets containing thousands of how shall I put this? Anagrammed names of both smuggled children and their intended recipients, including dollar amounts they were to be sold for. Is that correct? Rear Admiral Crandall asked. Nesvinsky nodded, saying he need an insurance policy against Clinton retaliation in case they turned on him. Rear Admiral Crandall approached the three officers tasked with judging the military's evidence on Clinton. He laid on the table a ream of paper saying the documents, regardless of muddled names, conclusively proved that Chelsea Clinton had authorized the selling of children who had been smuggled into the United States from countries such as Haiti, Colombia, and the Ukraine. One recipient's anagram, Tindus Komsovich, appeared 11 times. Rear Admiral Crandall told the tribunal that U.S. Army Intelligence and Security Command at Fort Meade had rigorously scrutinized the database and deduced that Tindus Komsovich was really Facebook co-founder Dustin Moskovitz, a longtime friend of the Clintons who had donated millions of dollars to Hillary Clinton's election campaigns. I ask you directly, Mr. Nesvinsky, did you and Chelsea Clinton sell children to Dustin Moskovitz? Rivulets of tears streamed down Nesvinsky's face. I'm sorry. Yes, him and so many others. And you'll provide us the names you, Rear Admiral Crandall started. But Chelsea rose to her feet and again lambasted her husband. You keep your fucking mouth shut, Clinton blurted, her voice a witch's cackle. Per Rear Admiral Crandall's instructions, a pair of Marines gagged Clinton and dragged her from the chamber. Rear Admiral Crandall asked the panel whether it had heard enough, and the officers unanimously found Chelsea Clinton guilty of all charges and recommended she be executed for crimes against humanity and for destroying the lives of countless families. Rear Admiral Crandall, however, admitted to a quandary. Michael Baxter, a quandary, not quandary. Could the U.S. military execute Clinton given the absence of evidence that she was guilty of murdering an American citizen or committing treason as stipulated under the Insurrection Act of 1812, the U.S. Constitution, or the Patriot Act? Sentencing, Rear Admiral Crandall said, would commence in days. She will either be hanged or spend life at Gitmo, Rear Admiral Crandall said. So love God and try to be good. And if you want the real version with the Admiral's voice or the General's voice or the Angry Man voice or the Drill Sergeant voice, head on over not to Tom Youngjohn 3, but to Tom Youngjohn 4. I will be doing a teaser after I do. Right now, I'm going over to Tom Youngjohn 4, but I'll be doing a teaser at Tom Youngjohn 3. So